Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you guys, and welcome back. If you're back with us on today, last Sunday we was off due to the weather. Look, we've been living in ice age snowstorm since last week, and so I'm hoping everybody has kind of recouped from that. I know that there was winter weather all across the country. So, wherever you're watching from, I'm hoping that you're already safe and you kind of don't got over this weather too. I'm ready. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to see this doggone groundhog. And I think he's supposed to show his face tomorrow or something, but he better do something because spring needs to come on because I'm over winter already. So come on and check in today. I know we was off last week, but we are back today. And I want to make sure that we are not missing out on anything today because today is such a great topic of discussion. um, Talking about how you don't fall out of love, that love is chosen. This is today's conversation is might challenge us on how we been taught how to love or think about love. We hear it all the time. I fell out of love. But what if love isn't something you fall into or fall out of? So what if love is actually a choice made daily, intentionally, even when feelings fluctuate? On this episode today, with our special guest, we're diving into the truth about commitment, emotional maturity, and the difference between chemistry and conscious love. We're unpacking what happens when passion fades, when life gets busy and life is happening and gets real, and when choosing love requires effort, healing, and accountability. So to join us today, chime in, with our chat session with our special guest as he's engaging us with thought-provoking things. Chime in today. Join us today. He's going to bring some insight, we're going to talk about some lived experiences, refreshing perspectives on why love doesn't disappear. It evolves. So this is a conversation for anyone, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're in a marriage, situationship, whatever ship you in. Hopefully we get to hit your street today because, this is a conversation about anyone who's loved deeply or question your commitment or wonder if love is a feeling or a decision. So we're going to dive right into it because the hour go by so fast. So without further ado, who we have affectionately called him our love doctor. We got our relationship coach on with us today, Mr. Juan Lee.
Hello, hello. How you doing
Hi,
today?
Mr. Juan.
How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm fine. Happy New Year to you.
Well, thank you. You to this you same, you the same. It's like we started off with a real bang with this weather, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. I told them, I said, I feel like I'm living in the ice age because there's been so much snow and ice everywhere.
And that's right, because I don't know that yeah, you're not on the East Coast, are you?
Yeah, I'm in Virginia.
Right. I forget. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, I'm thinking you're in Houston. I was like, because they even got some
Houston. Oh, you put me in Houston? Why
a
that?
little warmer there, right? Normally, huh? But not. But that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's kind of weird.
That's okay. I've
You
had
said,
I think I've been doing a lot of stuff for my podcast, and I've been
okay.
dealing with a lot of different people from all over the country.
Uh-huh.
And one of the people that I was speaking with was from Houston,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, okay, all right. And she was saying, oh, it was bad weather here too. I was like, okay. I was like, it wrapped right on through the Midwest and right all over here to us.
Oh, yeah. It didn't waste no time. And I think it hasn't let up for the simple fact that the temperature's been so low. And so we don't see that snow or the ice disappearing anywhere. So,
Yeah.
so that what makes it kind of tough. You
Yeah.
maneuvering through this snow and this ice like, like an obstacle course.
Look, just be thankful that you didn't have to move the snow like I did.
Oh, I did. I did. There's nobody here but me and Brownie. Brownie can't move a hook, a paw, or nothing. It was me breaking up the ice in the driveway and slipping and falling. My daughter don't see me slip and fall on the Ring camera and stuff. She don't went to try to find salt all these places, and they sold out everywhere. I was gonna try to order some online. They wanted $79 for a delivery fee for an $11 bag of salt.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I
I was
I
like, no way.
I was 2 days in doing it, and I still needed some help.
Oh wow.
Two
Well,
days, and I still needed some help. I had to pay the market price to get some help.
look, I had to make a path to get out I was stuck in my garage. Garage was frozen shut. So I had to break the ice up from there. Then I was stuck in the garage because the ice hill from the driveway was so high, so my car traction wouldn't get over it. So I had to just like flow it and run over it was crazy. But and then break up the ice. It's been adventurous for sure. But I tell you what, because we talking about love today, I got my notebook. I'm taking notes because it's gonna be the last doggone winter. I'm shoving
Uh-oh.
snow. This
Uh-oh.
is the last winter that I'm doing
Uh-oh.
anything in the yard pertaining to yard work, snow,
Uh-oh.
shoveling,
Look,
putting salt down, all this kind of stuff. Because
are you putting this on your vision board or something? You got a
I'm
vision board?
speaking it into existence. And then I'm going to put it on a vision board because look, I ain't doing it. This is a papa and a husband job. And so, look, God gonna position me so he can
Look,
gonna find me because this is his job. I'm not doing this in the driveway next year. I'm not
look,
doing it next winter.
look. Didn't you hear my additional part there? I said I had to pay the market value for somebody else to help me do this. So don't put a little bit of stuff in the way for somebody to shovel your driveway. You can hire somebody to shovel your driveway.
Yeah, but
That's an event.
I would rather see my own set of muscles and hands out
Oh,
there doing it. Because then when he's done, then I can be like, "You did good, baby," or "You need some help," or "You need this shovel, you need this." I can be assistant. It makes it. Teamwork
I,
makes the dream work, kind of
I
thing.
hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But that is a 1 day event or an event. An event, and we talking really, we already into this conversation already when you said that,
Right.
because we need to know that that's an event, and relationships last longer.
Yes.
And let's be very clear, when we talk about love being a decision, not a feeling, that seemed like a feeling right there. I'm feeling that I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to shovel this driveway.
It's strictly strategic. It's a decision. I am not doing this next winter. I will be in a great position. I will be retired, available. I'm billing myself. I would not be doing this or by myself next. We're gonna be a teamwork. We'll be out there shoveling together. Get his and hers, snow shovels, cute snow suits and boots, whatever the case may be. But I'm not doing it next winter by myself.
Right? I'm gonna leave you there. I'm gonna, I'm gonna leave you there. Um, um, I well, I tell you that's gonna be interesting. So you keep me abreast
I
on how
will.
that
I
works.
don't put it out in the atmosphere now, so it got to do its thing.
Okay, all right. You're right. That's a decision.
Hmm.
But you know the old adage, it says don't put a time on God.
I'm not, but he
Don't
knows
put a
my heart. He
time
knows
on.
my heart. And then my daughter told my mom, "Be careful out there shoveling because that's been the number one cause of heart attacks. People shoveling stuff."
And
I
that's
was
why.
done.
But that's the whole point I was talking about. I that situation that you're talking about. My wife and I, when she was looking out the window, she got to the point where she was like, "Look, you need to just come on in, cause you see them
It's too
people over
much.
across the street. Look, I'm not as young as I used to be, and
Right.
and and as it is it ain't like it's gonna tell you getting ready to have a heart attack. Your body ain't gonna tell you that.
Right.
You need to understand that this is an event that you don't need to have to do for yourself. You can hire somebody to. And so
Right.
she would like hire them to come over here and do the rest of this. Because I'm talking about 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
I was out there. I was out there 2 days, and I
I'm
was
like, where
out
are the
there.
kids? There's no kids trying to make money anymore. Like, where are the kids in the neighborhoods that want to make a few little dollars? Because I would have hooked them up big time. Like,
Oh, eh,
here, you can even take the dog out if you want to. I'll hook you up anytime.
see, I mean, my neighbor she was giving chocolate out to the people that was doing the job because I got the people she had. I said, look,
Uh,
send them over here, finish my driveway, and we'll go from there. But it was an event, and I have to look at it that way. I mean, I wanted to be able to be here tomorrow, the next day.
right.
I don't want this event to be the end be all of who I am just because
I'm trying to tell you. I'm
nope.
trying to tell you. Look, I'm damsel in distress right now. Look, if husband, if you're out there, look, this is my last year doing this winter shoveling snow. I will be patiently waiting for you to take your place. I'm aligning myself. You do the same.
All right. All right. That being said, you don't fall out of love. It's a decision.
Okay.
Um, and the end part of that is we have to look from the end and go backwards. We got to look backwards, okay? The struggle that we put ourselves in many cases, has to do with mm, allowing it to be a feeling versus a decision, because a decision does something different than a decision. A feeling does some feelings are intended to just gather your attention. It just
Right.
grabs your attention in the moment. And that's why I said, I was talking about the snow. It's an event, it's a moment. And it grabs your attention and you say, okay, I don't want to be in this situation this time next year. It's grabbed your attention this moment.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing about feelings, as real as they might be, they are not reliable.
That's true.
They're not reliable. And the reason being is because there's so many circumstances that will impact that feeling, because
Mhm.
things change, your environment changes. Guess what? The snow's going to melt.
Right.
The snow's going to melt, and the spring is going to come.
Right.
And then once the spring comes, there's no need for nobody to shovel snow. But there is a need to be able to communicate, to be able to successfully communicate. See, feelings tells you something that's happening. Decisions determine what happens next
I like
after
that.
after the snow melts. After the snow melts. And I think until we realize and recognize that the relationship is wrong, it's longer than the event. It's longer than the event. And we think back to, in many of our cases, in most of our cases, it's the events that gets our attention. But we've got to do the work to make the decisions that are going to follow that moment. And it's really difficult because if you don't know this, if you don't know what feelings are intended to do, they're not meant to gauge you or to give you directions. They're not meant to give you directions. They're just to get your attention. And
Mm,
and if they're giving you directions, it implies that you are being you're reacting instead of making decisions, making being very conscious of your decisions. Um, and so we have to be very careful when we are saying that it's a feeling versus a decision, because they tell on themselves. Feelings, if they begin to lead us, they will take us somewhere that is inconsistent with where we want to be long term, because it's only meant for that moment. How you evolve, how you develop that moment
mm,
is based on the decisions that you make as a result of that moment, of that attention that you got.
Well, because I'm a Christian woman, I'm
Hmm.
reminded of the scripture in the Bible in Proverbs that says, guard your heart because out of it flows the issues of life. And
Hmm.
and and like listening to that scripture to me, it I feel like it emphasizes protecting certain things, within you, but also like giving you the opportunity to let what's there, kind of be the source of where your life direction is going. So I know it says guard your heart. Of course you want to guard your heart if you see things because you're going to protect yourself if you see that there's potential harm or danger. But when you're in a place of vulnerability to love or to choose love, then guarding it and protecting it that way, gives you a source of trying to direct your life in that way of that decision that you're making. If I choose to, um, you know, be intentional about this person, or if I choose to be intentional about the efforts I put into this, then it should give me a source of direction of how that relationship or that situation should be headed. And so that's how I kind of dissect that scripture. But what are your thoughts on that when you're talking about feelings as opposed to how the Bible tells us to guard our hearts? Because based with that, going come feelings and emotions and all the things that our heart and our mind, together think and deal with.
Well, again, it's, that particular scripture doesn't really align with what I'm saying right now.
Okay.
From how I'm presenting this, because guard your heart is basically referring to how are you allowing others to influence you, how you're allowing them to influence you, because that happens after this right here.
Okay.
Because if you put that one in front of this one, you really, I'm not saying that you can't. If you put that one in front of it, you really begin to allow yourself the way in which you presented it. Because I'm talking about love from a giving perspective, and you're referring it from something coming internally to you.
Okay.
I mean, externally to you,
Mhm.
externally to you. And see, therein lies the order to change. Until you can be able to give love, you're going to be able to, you can't really identify the love that you're going to be receiving back, because it's going to be very difficult for you to align yourself with it until you know exactly where you are. And that's why when I say, if you're looking at this thing from a perspective of saying, I can't make decisions based on feelings, meaning, in other words, I can't make decisions based on this particular type of arresting of my attention. Now, from this attention, I have to be very conscious and very intentional and say, okay, it's one thing that this event brings something to your attention that you would have never otherwise been exposed to. You know what I'm saying? If the event says, dog, the guy down the street that I never knew existed drove down the street and saw me out there shoveling the snow, and it was like, hey, can I help you shovel this for you? And from that event, you go, wow, that was a nice guy. He really was considerate. And if he played his cards right, he could turn it into something else. He could maybe influence you a little bit from that event. But from the position that you're looking at this and going, hey, I don't want this to happen no more, that would be a little bit of putting the horse before the cart before the horse.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
the event would now be something that I'm holding on to say, I don't want this no more. Instead of allowing the event to be you to capture the moment for someone to say, she don't need to be out there shoveling that snow like that. You ain't had to call him. He just was right around the corner. And I think I'm going to go over there and shovel that snow for her.
Let me go on and take care of that.
Yeah, let me go take care of that. See, now he's going to be doing something that you wanted to do without you even asking him to do it, because he's seen something in you that he wants to get to know.
So that's a choice. That's what you're talking about, choosing.
Well, after he comes and shows himself worthy of your choice.
Okay.
See, because when he drive by the street and he see you out there, he don't stop, and then you ain't got to consider him. Not in that event, no way. But see, we got to understand what we're looking for in this experience. We're looking for opportunities to connect. If he drives by something that he was meant for you, he wouldn't drive by if he was meant for you. He'd have stopped. He would have stopped. But let's not put the buggy before the horse. Because once the event goes away, he loses that opportunity to make a connection if it was really meant to be. Mm-hmm. Unless you out there cutting the grass in the spring and he decide he want to cut the grass for you. Then you got another opportunity. But again, let's just be clear as to what the feelings are and what they're going to do, because we should not make decisions based on feelings. But how many of us do? Most of us, all of us. Yeah. But again, remember, if we do, we potentially put ourselves in the space of struggling, because once that event's over, the rest of the story is told. The rest of the story is told.
Okay.
Okay. And again, this goes in line with another point and that is that we've been taught chemistry instead of commitment.
Yeah.
Instead of commitment, we've been taught chemistry. And see, chemistry is this myth because it skips all of the things that you need for lasting relationships, for relationships to last. Things like commitment, things like responsibility, humility, consistency. All of these are the makeups, but we don't learn that. We learn about chemistry, it make me feel good.
Again, it makes you overlook. It makes you overlook things.
Well, again,
just because of chemistry.
Mm-hmm. And chemistry just don't last.
It don't.
No kind of way does chemistry, because again, we're changing, we're growing, we're evolving. What that feeling of chemistry did 6 months ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, ain't the same today. We don't look the same, we don't talk the same, we don't speak the same, everything. And that chemistry that we so-called was all hell, all wrapped all up in, not there no more.
You making a good point, because now I kind of understand it, because when you're saying love isn't a feeling or something you just fall into or fall out of, you're basically saying, when you make a decision to choose love, sometimes it's going to be out of inconvenience. Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes it's going to require us to be stretched and in growth, and it's not going to always be pretty. It ain't going to always come, peaches and cream either. So, so yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's giving us an overview, something that we can begin to understand when we know what the makeup of it is. Instead of allowing our society to, these fairy tale romances and stuff like that and think that that's real. No, it's real for the moment. It's real for the moment. But we're talking about something that's going to last, something that's going to have value. It needs something to hold on to. And that's what we talk about in the sense of being able to understand what's required for you to be able to really get the feeling and understand that love is not something that we can fall out of when we know that it's a choice. And so chemistry starts the relationship. Character sustains it and grows it. You know, something that oftentimes we don't realize, and I guess we sort of got started and jumped off into it because of the snow, but something that what love really needs to get started, to really understand love apart from an event, is determining that for love to, you brought the scripture up and you was talking about the heart, guarding your heart. One of the scriptures that I support and one that I talk a lot about is Corinthians 1:13, 1 Corinthians 13, where it talks about love never failing. And for love never to fail, love has to have a purpose. Love has to have a purpose. And when we understand that there's a purpose that's greater than who we are, what we are, it gives love something to hold on to in those trying times, in those times of struggle, times of challenge. Because if love doesn't fail and we know that it's a choice, we know now that what is going to sustain us through whatever the challenges are is that we've got to know that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. Something is greater than ourselves. Because when we choose to say it's not working or it's failing, then for it to fail, that means that love either failed or I quit. I gave up. And that's the thing that we have to realize and understand. What's the purpose? If we don't have a purpose for it, or the purpose is not greater than who we are as an individual, it's easy for us to let it go because there's nothing to sustain it. There's nothing to hold it together. Because when you think about, we were talking about parenthood before we got started. And the thing about it is we know somebody just added someone to or something to their family. And as you know, you don't get that once you get it, you don't turn it off. You know, your parent, it's that love comes and it precedes anything that happens. And that's the kind of understanding that we need to address when we think about love. Its purpose is we have to understand something greater than ourselves is what's going to hold this thing together. I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I got you.
Okay. I think one of the things that you know, it makes me kind of emotional to think about. I think one of the things that I have experienced um based off what you're saying when you say love has purpose, um, is I think in my entire life, and I'll be 50. In my entire life, I think, as far as relational wise, and even being married before, and I didn't even have this with my husband. Um, I think there was only one time that I felt like love had a purpose in any of my relationships. And I think the moment was way bigger than the both of us. And I think, I'm trying not to get emotional to talk about it. I think that based off what you're explaining, I think that because we weren't in a place, we couldn't understand it, and we weren't in a place to kind of navigate through it. And then, because you have one person more spiritually grounded than the other, and so there's a disconnect there. And so but I knew it was purpose. It was purpose there. And I knew it was purpose there because before I met that person, I was on this consecration time period, fasting. And I had prayed specific prayers, like, God, this and this is this going on in my life. I need direction. I need you, I need you to show me so I know that it's you, kind of thing. And when I said I ended, I was on a 7-day fast, absolutely no food, just water and in my devotion time. At the end of that fast, I got a phone call from a person that I had been in contact with months prior or whatever. We weren't talking every day or whatever. They reached out and they was like, "Hey, are you gonna go work out today? Are you gonna go walking today?" Kind of thing. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going this morning," kind of thing. And they wanted to invite themselves. So I was like, "Yeah." So I let them come, but I actually did it. I actually walked longer than I normally do. So I did about like 5 or 6 miles just to make it longer, just to see, like what they up to, kind of thing. And they walked the whole entire time. We talked the whole entire time. And it was almost like we weren't even tired. And so by the time we got done and, got finished or whatever, I was having this conversation and I got home. I was having this conversation with God. I said, "Okay, what's going on? This and this happened today," kind of thing. Am I feeling weird for a reason, kind of thing? And then the person asked, "Hey, would you like to go to dinner?" I'm thinking like, what? Like, we just went on a walk. No, it's not going to be none of that kind of thing. And then I decided, yeah, I'll go on dinner. I just finished a fast, but I'm probably not going to eat much. So took the opportunity to went on a dinner date with that person for like a year and a half after that one dinner date. And so, but so much transpired in that entire time because I think both of us caught each other in moments where it was purposed. And we didn't understand it at the time. Like, I kind of knew where, what was kind of going on, but I think he didn't know, kind of thing. And because there was a spiritual disconnect as well, I think the moment got way bigger than the both of us. And so you know, so that's why I get when you say it's purpose, but sometimes we can miss that purpose when we're not aligned or not connected or something. You get what I'm saying?
But
I'm
yeah,
trying to make
yeah.
it make sense.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. I think, but just for clarification, um, moments like that are opportunities to align with or to identify purpose.
Okay.
Okay. How you respond after that should illuminate purpose.
Mm,
And because see what you're looking for is clarity, and purpose should present clarity. If you don't
okay.
have clarity, there's probably you're still looking for purpose. You're still,
Okay.
because here's the thing, purpose doesn't change. And I think this is where we struggle a lot, because purpose and identity is not the same thing. And when we operate out of when we operate out of identity, calling it purpose, Identity is individual. It's a uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you proceed in your purpose.
Okay.
In purpose. It's not the purpose itself. And so when you have an event or a situation that you are exposed yourself to, the whole purpose of that situation should be to identify and to clarify purpose so that you can align with it. Because if it's not clear to either party, it's not going to be something that either one can align with, because both
Right.
should be alignment. Both should be aligning. And I'm saying relationships in the sense of marital relationships, it's very unique in the sense that there is no other relationship like marriage. No other one. Because in marriage, it's requiring something that is uniquely its own, and that's a oneness. The only way that you can get there is with that purpose.
Mm.
If you don't get that purpose, it's not going to be able to get that oneness necessary. You're always going to find yourself hitting and missing, because it's all about situations now. Does this one look good to me? Does that one look good to you? Does this one look good to me? Does that one look good to you? Instead of we all got the same purpose and we're on the same direction going to the same place. It's just that you have some additional uniquenesses and I got some different uniqueness, but we headed to the same place. We on our way to the same purpose. We got the same visions, the same ideas in the sense of where we're going. We have differences in how we get in there, but together collectively, we're going to make the right decisions that's going to get us both to the same place.
Right. I want to read these comments. Shanita, who we said same values and morals. Sometimes we want what we want. That's true. And she was saying yes, sir. So she was agreeing with you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, remember, it's these decisions based on our choices that if the clarity is there, we avoid the struggles that we have in the relationships.
That makes sense.
When we don't have this clarity, we have no other choice but to have these struggles, because love is giving us the tool. And if we're not using it or unclear with how it's to be demonstrated or how it's supposed to be implemented, it's sort of like trying to push a rock uphill. Instead of going with the flow, aligning with the way it's supposed to work, we want to make it like she said. We want what we want and we get what we want. We get what we get.
Right. That is so true. But looking at it in the concept of love never fails, I mean, it makes sense now. All that makes sense because, you're not going to have struggle, even though it may not always be, sunshine and roses, but love still won't fail, even through the inconvenience, even through the uncomfortableness or whatever that you go through, it still won't fail as long as that purpose is there, because that purpose give that clarity. So then struggle shouldn't be a problem, decisions shouldn't be a problem, that alignment should be there.
It's just life being life, and challenges are going to come. But if we have that connection to that purpose, we're going to always, you don't have to wonder what my decision is going to be heading towards. You know where it's headed, because that's my values. That's where you've aligned yourself with that. I'm aligned with that. So now every challenge has my intent is already very clear. Whatever the challenge is, this is where I'm going. This is how I'm getting there. Regardless as to the challenge, we use the challenges as a way to prevent us from reaching our destination or our goal. But the fact is that many times we don't have it. We have not defined it as purpose. And so we don't know that our purpose has to be greater than ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Because greater than our desires, greater than our wants.
There it is. It's like how I feel is irrelevant at this point, because now something's greater than how I feel. because there's going to be challenges that's going to challenge the way you feel.
Right, right. And I see some comments in here. I want you to kind of give answer and direction to Mr. Juan. Shanita said, sometimes I feel like I have wasted so much time by going because of convenience. She also said, like right now, I would not marry because I wonder if this is God's will, um, if it's God's will and purpose for my life.
Purpose, you get to determine, and I say this in understanding that its purpose is what you what it is that's greater than yourself. Purpose is really something that is in service, something that allows you to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And so if marriage is what she wants, there's got to be something about the person that you want to engage with in that institution that's going to allow you to align with that purpose, the purpose that they're looking for. Because there's a lot of different, we're all different. We all uniquely different. And see, everybody ain't for everybody. Okay. And it's how you align with the person that you decide to get into, because see, marriage is about something that's bigger than you or I as an individual. You can't marry by yourself. Okay. It's the institution is bigger than you and I. And so it's about how you select that person to enter into that institution with is going to determine how successful you're going to be in that institution. So it's not like, and many times people talking about, God called that person to be, God, you get to choose. You get to choose. He'll tell you that what it take to get in there, but whoever you choose, now you got to make whatever it takes. You got to do whatever it takes to stay there.
It gives you that free will.
Yeah, you got to determine you have to do what it takes to stay there because you made the choice. God ain't making you do anything. You've got to do it. You got to choose it, and then you got to make it work. Now, if you didn't make the right choice, now that's another story. And that's why I'm saying it's not a falling out of love. It's a decision. When you've gotten to a point where you feel that your choice, you don't like your choice no more. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because once you understand that it was only your choice that got you there, you got to decide, okay, either God was wrong or I was wrong. Love never fails.
And God never lies.
So then we've got to make sure that when we make those decisions, so as it relates to her question, it's in line as long as you are unlined with the purpose because of the institution, and understand that it's in the institution that's greater than you as an individual, not you as it relates to whether or not he wants you or not to be there. You don't have to. You ain't got to be married. But if you choose to, you got to hold up to what it is that the institution requires. And there comes the commitment, the responsibility, the humility, the consistency, all of those things that are demonstrated in the institution that love allows you to demonstrate. Because again, those are the things that put it into action.
This is some of the notes I took prior to us even talking. I took these notes and I wanted, because we're talking about the choosing part. And I wrote these down because I wanted to kind of throw that out there with you. But I wrote down, sometimes choosing looks like choosing honesty over avoidance, choosing effort over ego, and choosing to stay present instead of pulling away, and choosing growth even when it's hard and it hurts. Even when someone stopped choosing, that's when things kind of shift. Sometimes the real heartbreak isn't losing love or falling out of love, is realizing when you were still choosing, the other person wasn't. They choice had stopped.
And again, that's a part of being in alignment, because of the alignment in love is that, here's the thing, love, there's no quitting in love
Right.
on either side. But yet that's a free will, which makes the institution that much more different than any other institution. Because, there's no institution that say you can't get out of it, because the institution of marriage has no way out. Because if
Mhm.
love is the thing that bonds it, it don't fail.
Love never fails.
That's that's the part that we've got to understand. It's our choice that fails.
Mhm.
We choose not to do it.
Mhm.
And you can't force somebody. One of the major characteristics of love is that it's a choice. And until you recognize that when you choose it, nobody can force you to choose it, and nobody can stop you from choosing it. And it's yours to choose or not.
Yeah.
It's profoundly simple. Sounds like my book, Love Made Simple.
Nice plug.
But no, that's really the thing. Is the other thing is that we talk about is what love does is it creates an emotional safety.
Mhm.
It creates this emotional safety. When you have love as performing the way it discards every time, it demonstrates itself every time. Security that doesn't come from promises, but it comes from commitments. See, the difference between, you can really feel secure when you know someone is committed.
Mhm.
Words are cheap, but demonstration commitment really brings security. And that's something that I think a lot of times we don't realize how we get there. It ain't because somebody said, I love you. It's because they've demonstrated it.
Mm.
And you can recognize it. And that is emotional security.
Yes. When
That's
somebody say, "I'm here for you. I'm here with you," you
mhm,
know, we're in this together,
mhm,
um, those are the things that, solidify the demonstration of that safety and that choice of
mhm,
choosing.
mhm. And it's the ability to be able to understand that, if they can receive that, because that's
Yeah.
a two-way street there now. I'm there for you. Can you feel? Do you know that I'm there? Do you know that I'm there? It is
Mm.
it is really, it comes from that commitment. Um, and we don't want to lose out on the fact that most relationship conflicts comes from a mindset issue. See, these are the things where we talked about. The titles is love doesn't fail you, your choices do. Your choices come from your mindset.
Mm.
When we stop choosing curiosity,
Ooh.
patience, and we stop choosing responsibilities on how we show up,
Mm.
we really, we really are going to create conflict. Love doesn't disappear. The choice to practice does.
Mm.
You don't want to continue to do the work. And it's difficult. See, and that's one of the things that I talk about in Love Made Simple. It's just that I don't say it's easy. I say it's simple. Simple implies clarity, meaning that you know what you need to do. But the one thing that we don't want to accept is like, when does this quit? When does it stop? You get tired, but love don't quit. Love
Yeah,
just don't quit. Because guess what? Guess how you determine failure? You have to quit.
hmm,
Because until you quit, you're still in the game. It ain't over until you quit. You can't lose until you quit. And that's what conflicts, that's where relationship struggles come to their conflict, is that I can't, I'm not curious no more. I'm finished. My patience is out. I'm running out of patience. Instead of looking towards where to correct, where the corrections are. And here's the thing, the corrections start with us.
that's true. I think about when we've heard the term love endures as well. You know, you think
Mhm.
about when you start off working out in the gym and you trying to build up your endurance. You know, I might have did 10 minutes on a treadmill when I started out. Now I can do 30 minutes or an hour. But it took me some time to get there. You know, I had to build my endurance. I had to keep working at it. I had to keep trying. I had to keep doing, you know, I had to, I couldn't quit kind of thing. And so that's how we have to treat it when it comes to love is if we say that love never fails, it endures. I mean, it's going to endure through the tough times, the sad times, the bad times, the not so good times when I don't like you sometimes, all those times. It got to endure. And I think a lot of us so easy to say, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm out, or whatever, instead of endurance. We can go in the gym and work our butts off and be like, oh yeah, now I can do, 50 push-ups now or whatever, but we can't put that same kind of effort when it comes to people and making a decision on people and loving and choosing people.
Well, again, this rolls right into my last point. It says love leads the mindset. When love leads the mindset, behaviors change.
Oh yeah.
When love leads the mindset, your behavior changes. That means that regardless as to what the circumstances or the situations are, we've got a different perspective on it. We're going to see it differently, and
Hmm.
we're going to endure. Decision shifts how you speak to one another during conflicts, how you listen instead of being defensive. All those things that you talked about earlier, you know, when you don't want to, you're fighting to be right. You want to be right. That's not the right attitude if you're trying to facilitate love. You don't have to do it. And when we stop practicing this daily, we really find ourselves, it's so very interesting because the end of this month, I took a little of your advice. Remember I told you the unity of love?
Hmm.
Friday nights, you said Friday nights weren't good. We moved it to Saturdays at 5.
Oh, okay.
And this coming one is called Building Bridges Instead of Walls.
Oh, I like, and
That's
that's real good because I just put that on my vision board for this
mhm.
year.
And that's the point I'm saying. When we stop practicing love,
Mm,
we're building walls instead of building bridges. And that's what it's all about. You got to choose it, even when it's uncomfortable,
yeah,
even when it's uncomfortable.
love would definitely change your mindset permanently. Like there's ways where you would think, oh, where you think it's all about me, what I want, what I think, what I do, how I want to get, me, 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 me. But love will change your mindset where, you're not even thinking, you're seeing beyond, yourself, you're seeing beyond that person's flaws and faults and a lot of times that's why I'm very careful about when people are in relationships or marriages and they want to work through the infidelity, because that's what love is. I mean, of course there was betrayal, and of course it's going to take some time to work through that stuff. But if people are willing to put in the work and not quit on each other, then I think it can be done. So I would never tell somebody just leave somebody because they cheated. But at the same time, if both people are going to make effort because love endures and love never fails, then I'm all for somebody, putting the effort equally, to make things work for themselves.
I think to have that mindset right there is to understand what love is. It's really about never quitting.
Right.
It's about never quitting. It doesn't, there is, we have so many examples. I don't want to make this into a Bible study, but the fact is that we've got to understand that quitting is not a part of love. It's not a part of it. And if anything, the greater the challenge, the greater love is. The greater the challenge, the greater love is, because
Yeah.
love supersedes any challenge. So the greater the challenge, the greater love is.
Yep. I definitely believe that. I
Well,
definitely believe that for sure.
well, it's being able to begin to make that a part of your mindset. That's what this is all about. It changes the way in which we see and process situations. That's what transformation is. It changes the way we the way we view things.
Mm.
And it's not just in situation by situation. It's by understanding that there's something greater than what this is. And everybody has their own perspective. But when you're able to look through it and align yourself with love, you begin to see things differently.
Mm.
Well, that's all I had.
Oh, I loved it because, when you ended and said you'll be able to see things differently, um, that gives you that clarity. That's where clarity comes in, because we starting to see things from a different perspective, but our mindset has changed. And so when we lead with clarity and purpose, those things, of course it's gonna like change how we think, how we see the person or whatever. Cause I look at different because we getting ready to have our relationship, and I want to invite you and your wife to be on our couple series this month. But we're getting ready to have our couple series. We do it for the month of February for Valentine's Day, and I try to get a range of couples, the seasoned couples, couples been married, few years, just early, just got married, engaged, or whatever the case may be. And we do different relationships too. So there's people who are just dating, or there's people married and all those kind of things. But because when we interview them, we get so many different perspectives because everybody's in a different season of their relationship or marriage or phase or whatever. And so it's so it's like so fulfilling just to see. And then you see how God orchestrated or put those people together, kind of thing, how they met, hearing the different stories and the things they've endured for however long they've been married or been together. So it's just those kind of things that help you to see that sometimes you got to endure some things so that you can get to that point of clarity and see things clearly. Because, when we got that blurred vision and we're leading with feelings and emotions and how we feel and what we think. And then we have that selfish motive too, where our mindset hasn't changed. It can make a world of difference. Um,
Oh, it does. It
yeah,
does.
it can make a world of difference.
It's
So,
it's a one thing I is it relates to situations where people can glean from
mhm,
other couples, but I have never known a situation where couples have been able to, let's just put it like this. Um, every relationship is uniquely its own. And if there's a message that can resonate across relationships, it's that you don't quit.
mm,
That's the resonation. That's the thing. Because everybody's infidelity is not everybody's straw.
mhm,
Infidelity is not everybody's straw.
you're right.
And so when you look at infidelities for somebody, be like, that ain't no big deal. But don't put the toilet seat down.
Mm,
You've got to know who you are with. You have to know them. You have to align, you have to really begin to understand that if they have some deal breakers, see, love don't have deal breaker.
mm,
But if they got deal breaker, you need to understand what that is. And that's everybody got to understand that. It's not just, somebody told you, I found out that my wife or my husband's deal breaker was this. That might not be your husband or wife's deal breaker. The
mhm,
issue there is you need to realize if there is a deal breaker, how and what that is. And you got to understand that in your relationship. So it's to be, that's very calculated. And so when people start sharing their stories, be cautious, be careful as to their stories because they're their stories.
right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, can I tell you about the thing that's happening on the end of the month?
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. All right. It is the real life talk, unity through love. It's going to be February the 28th, Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register by going to clearjourney.org and go to events and register. It's on Zoom. It's a Zoom meetup.
Okay.
Um, so by all means, feel free to register and come on and let's have a conversation as to building bridges instead of walls.
I'm definitely gonna make that one because I feel like it's just not a coincidence you having this with that topic when I wrote that down.
Yeah,
So, because I was
yeah,
like, I don't want. There's a difference between boundaries and walls, and I don't want to have walls up based off of past traumas and hurts and pains. I want to create healthy boundaries so that way that is easily communicated, and so I want to build bridges and not walls. So when you said that, I'm like, oh my God.
mhm.
And we hadn't had no conversation about that prior.
Mm-mm. No,
So
but I mean, but that's what love does, is it builds bridges.
yeah,
And when you said boundaries, yeah, that's a very good, interesting thing because boundaries are not walls.
right.
Boundaries are not walls.
And healthy boundaries helps endures love. You don't quit. You just creating healthy boundaries so that way endurance can happen. So yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, to understand boundaries are very good things.
yeah. So I've been like under construction, letting these walls of Jericho fall down.
Yeah, because
So
we build walls for protection.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's due to traumas.
Hmm. Yeah.
And in many cases we don't recognize that that's what they're there. That's how they got built,
Hmm.
because the traumas are so ingrained in us that it just becomes second nature that that wall is there.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, but yeah, by all means, go over to Clear Journey and check around, look around, and see what's over there.
We'll post
Um,
it in a group too. I wrote the information down, so I have Jada post it in a group as well. But I'm definitely going to sign up
cool,
and make sure I'm there.
good.
So this. But yeah, thank you, Mr. One. I appreciate this was such a great session. And Miss Shanita said the same thing. Great session. So
Well, thank you.
yeah, so very insightful. Loved it. A lot. I was over here writing. So if you see me looking down, I'm writing, taking notes. I am taking this serious. And
Good.
but I'm enjoying too. I'm enjoying what I'm getting from it as well. You know, anytime that we talk about love and healing and things like that, a lot of us, are tuned in because everybody likes to be loved, loved and to be loved. And so, having this conversation, you don't fall out of love. Love just doesn't disappear. What happened is, you stop choosing it. You stop choosing conversations, you stop choosing the efforts, you stop choosing each other on the days that matters. And that doesn't mean love wasn't real. It just means that your alignment has shifted. You guys made a decision, or someone has made a decision. And love is a daily decision that we need to have, not a feeling that is chased. These are notes I just wrote down. So I'm trying to kind of summarize everything.
I got you.
So try choosing love and is choosing love, and ask yourself, is love choosing me back? Because love doesn't quit, but it does require two people willing to keep choosing each other and choosing it. Until next time, protect yourselves. Love is purpose, and with purpose comes clarity. Those are the words from our great therapist and life coach, who we affectionately called, I love Dr. Mr. Juan Lee. So thank you so much.
Hey,
Miss Shanita said, let me read her comments. This session reminded me of someone that was with someone for 30 plus years and never gave up on him until he died. Oh my God, that's so sad. I'm a sucker for love. I love love. And so I'm a sucker for love. So when people really try to put every effort in love, I'm all for that. If people want to work things out, work it out. I'm never going to tell somebody not to, because I don't know what those people's situation are. I don't know what people have endured or whatever, and vice versa. So that's why I don't even take lightly when people try to tell me about my things or situation. I don't listen to people. I take it to myself and to God. And so, and however, whatever happens with that, if that person decides and that person chooses otherwise, then I respect their decision or whatever, and I deal with what I have to deal with afterwards. But I'm never going to let other people tell me how I need to treat, love, or do somebody, because that's up to me. It's my choice. So, and I think when a lot of people start doing that and start letting other people be in their ears and, influencing their decisions and all that kind of thing, we'll see so much, a difference in love and how people are being loved and how people are choosing love and all of that, because, it's our choice. It's our choice. So,
it's the great thing. It's number three. Number one of the three characteristics is the choice.
yeah,
Nobody can stop you.
that love never fails. Y'all remember that. Love don't quit. It endures. It never fails. So if there's a moment that you question it, just know who made the decision to quit. And if you didn't make the decision to quit and somebody else did, why are their decision to quit? So ask yourself that. If love quitting on me, I'm not quitting on love. So let's have that conversation. And those are important conversations to have. So I'm glad that Mr. Juan opened that up for us today. So if that was good for you and it resonated for you, have those necessary conversations, rethink some things, change your mindset, whatever you need to do. We're still in the beginning of 2026. So you got some time to work this thing out for this entire year. So, but whatever you do, just don't quit on love. So that's all we have for you guys today. Join us. We're off next Sunday for Super Bowl Sunday. So enjoy Super Bowl and your Super Bowl snacks and all that kind of stuff. But if you're interested in our couple series, we're looking for couples for our couple series the following weekend, which is Valentine's weekend, the love weekend. If you're interested in being one of the couples on our couples episode, please let us know by this Friday. We're trying to get all that set up so that way if we have to do any pre-recordings or whatever, we can get that done. But we want to make sure because our audience after that episode will get to choose based off of the interviews we had with the couples, who were their favorite couple and why it was their favorite couple, and whatever couple gets the most votes gets dinner for two from Chit Chat Podcast. And so we want to make sure that, we contribute to people not quitting on each other. Go out and have some food on us. But yeah, I love love. So I'm all supportive of that. So if you're interested, hit us up. You can send us a message on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, or hit us up on chitchatpod@gmail.com. So we look forward to hearing from you guys and enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. And we'll be back the following week for our Valentine's weekend episode. So see you guys later. Have a good one. Have a blessed week. Bye.